what are the things that you look at when you're going to put together a particular lesson and you have people all in the same class, a family with different likes, dislikes, skills, preferences, sometimes have a bad day if there's two kids there and maybe brother was arguing with sister prior to the lesson. Just asking for a friend. Not that that's ever happened to me, Deanna, but I just
Um,
thought,
act, yes, actually, family dynamics are probably the easiest to taught. We've taught a lot of group private lessons with families. Um, a lot of times you'll be teaching the parent maybe how to hold pads to the kids. You're
mm-hmm,
teaching them how to coach them and encourage them. Sometimes parents don't have that skill, they're learning alongside them. And it's something that they can share together. So you can say, okay, what can you do outside? And then you're also talking about personal safety and self defense. What does this look outside your home? You go to the store, you go anywhere. What are you doing? And how can you work together? And then it's sometimes just goals. What do they want to accomplish? Are they do they want a certain skill? Do they want to get ranking like belts? Do they just
mm-hmm.
want to work out together? It's really finding out what the family wants, because that's, and unfortunately, as a business owner, you have to go with what they want, not maybe what you want them to do. Unless your skill,
Yes.
unless your school, a private lesson to me is different than my core curriculum,
Yeah.
because I can go, we can tailor it more to what they want, based, which is going to be a little bit different. Or maybe they want to follow our curriculum, but they want to do it without anybody watching. I think as we get older, we don't want people to watch us train, and they want to maybe do in the privacy. They like the attention, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they have a child that, has special needs or needs maybe behavioral issues. And so you have to, you can isolate it without any distractions of other people. So
Yeah,
those,
that always helps. And are the parents training as well?
yes, I've had both. I've had some where they're not training, but they're just
Mm-hmm.
there for support, or like, what can I do at home? Or usually they're training. We have done that. So they're doing everything with their kids. They're warming up, they're working out, they're holding pads, they're training with them. So it's sometimes nice because now I have an extra pad holder, that's taller than me. We're both like, now she's taller than me. I'm only like 5'5", she's 5'6". That's nice. Okay. She likes to know that she's looking down at me. So I love it. I love being able to train them, because now they can be the trainer. That's what you should be doing. Building the confidence, being the coach to your kids. So that's usually what happens, if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. That makes total sense. And um, one of the things that I like what you said, and I'll never forget hearing Guru Dan say this once, and I'm sure he said it multiple times, but he said, I've made just about every mistake that there is in martial arts. And to hear that from Guru Dan, I was like, oh, right. And there's so much trial and error in teaching and the business end, providing what the consumer student wants and making sure they get what they need.
Well, yeah, like if you're just a practitioner, or maybe you just train your family and you don't have to teach like the public,
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely a different animal, because now you might have to commercialize something, make it measurable, that makes sense to them. You might have to slow down a little bit. A training group versus like a large training class is just going to look a little bit different. So you have to tweak things a little bit and make it so that they're bite sized, that it makes sense to them. People aren't always used to learning that way, like maybe the way we learn, like a fire hose. You just
Mm-hmm.
can't do that. You have to break it down where it makes sense. So it's harder. It's harder because now it's just the public, and it's not just, a small group of people, which in college, usually that's what it is. It's a smaller group. It's your family usually, or
Mm-hmm.
it's your friends. And they may be trained at a higher level, and you don't have to maybe worry about other challenges that way. So
Yeah. Miranda, what do you think about learning from, like, drinking from the fire hose of martial arts?
I think it's great because I get to learn so many things and just so many different arts, and I get to use that to my own advantage.
That's a great answer. Thank you so much. Sometimes it's overwhelming, right? And I think well, at least I've been on the both sides of the overwhelming part of it. but being introduced to that at a young age, I'm really interested to see how that could affect your learning style, right, as you go through life. Because I just recently had a podcast with a gentleman, MKG Jacob Norden, and
Yeah.
he talked about learning Kali, and that was one of the first things that made sense, and that really helped him in his learning style in school and his job and all those different things. And I felt the same way.